All right, hi everyone. Welcome back to the simulator here. We're at Kitakyushu Airport today. Now we're flying in standard daytime operations, so it is actually about 2 p.m. On a Sunday afternoon, and we're flying it in real time. So hopefully that issue that we had yesterday with our ground scenery not showing up correctly because the MSFS scenery add-on, thinking that it was actually nighttime because I was recording that at around 10 p.m. last night and forcing the simulator to think that it was 6 a.m. So hopefully when we land into Hiroshima today, it should be properly rendered with the daytime satellite scenery. So that said, we're going to change our departing airport today to Kitakyushu, just to throw in a little bit of a variety. As you can see here, I've got myself loaded up here at gate 3. We'll double check and make sure that our jetway works correctly. It looks like, based on the little pan-arounds that we're seeing here while we're waiting to get the sim started, we are lined up properly on the yellow lines, so it should be okay. I've got Volanta up and running. We'll need to go ahead and get that set up here in a second, and let's go ahead and hit plan flight, and we'll go ahead and add our looks like it hasn't detected our aircraft yet, so let's go ahead and cancel this. Let's go back and you can see all of our past flights here. Total of 277 flights so far, with 76,000 nautical miles flown. And outside of Japan, I've done little flights like the Sydney to Melbourne, some in Europe, very few, and then a few in the US, like our Seattle-Vancouver flight that we do, as well as some to Las Vegas from LA or Denver, San Francisco. But the majority of our flights have been in Japan. I've tried to cover most of the domestic airports, doing some odd city pairs that you normally don't see, and those are typically flown as ferry flights or repositioning flights to get aircraft from one city to another city in order to have the equipment available for follow-on revenue flights. All right, that said, let's go ahead and get ourselves situated. We're now looking at the ground here, and apparently the new version of Sim Update 6, I believe, is supposed to give us the ability to not start off in this ground mode. I haven't seen Sim Update 6 yet, but once that becomes publicly available for general consumption, it would be nice so that I don't have to keep pressing Shift C, since I don't typically do the walk around. Okay, we're now in the cockpit. Let's double check and make sure all of our things are set up. That sounds like the parking brake is. There we go. Make sure that that's turned off to start with. Let's make sure that our Rosefire app here can see our overhead panel. Yep, there we go. So found that. Looks like my battery was already turned on. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Okay, let's take a look at our route. We are going to be flying here from RJFR, Kitakyushu Airport, heading east, and then flying slightly southeast, then working our way back above Matsuyama, and then swinging left back to land at Hiroshima Airport. So that's what our briefing looks like. Let's now move over to Volanta, and for some reason it still hasn't picked up my aircraft, so let's go ahead and end flight once, start a new flight. There we go. So it's picked up our aircraft. We're in Juliet Alpha 90 Alpha November. This is one of the ANA 737-800 next generation. Go ahead and add flight plan, and it'll pull down. We'll just use the repositioning flight 5541 for our call sign today. And let's just check our briefing. Okay, I've also changed the landing runway to runway 10 so that we can see what it looks like coming in from the opposite side. And with runway 10, we do have the option for an ILS landing. Hopefully they'll give that to us so we can kind of see what that looks like. All right. Let's get started. Let's go overhead and take a look at our battery. Let's go ahead and turn that on, and we'll manually close the guard here. We'll also turn the emergency exit to armed. Close that. And next we'll go ahead and turn the ground power on. Okay, looks good. Let's just go ahead and reset all the lights down here. Okay, so set our position to steady. And we'll keep the wing and wheel well lights off since it's daytime. So my landing lights are screwed up here. All right, let's move up to the very top. Let's see if we can turn this. Okay, we'll set the IRS on to nav mode. Let's swing back down. Let's go ahead and get the aft fuel pump going here. And we'll turn our APU on, get that ready. And the EGT needle is moving on both the virtual overhead as well as on my physical overhead here on the Rosefire B107. And while we're waiting, let's go ahead and board passengers. Let's just make sure that our gates are working. So we do need to take the default stairs off here. PMDG, unfortunately, unless I hack the config file, when you configure it for a cold and dark start, it will always have the stairs attached to the aircraft by default. So when you call for the jet bridge, it does need to get rid of the truck. Maybe I'll finally get around to removing the truck. One thing that I did also notice with the latest notes for GSX was that it's supposed to make the ground vehicles a little bit more aware of other things that are around the airport so that they don't just like run through things. I don't know if that's what's happened here, but we shall see. Let's go ahead and let Starflyer be our operator today for ground services. And it does look like our jet bridge is working correctly. That's good. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Let's kind of pan around here. You can see over on the right hand side the newly built, I say newly, but it's been several years already, but the Starflyer's headquarters building is over here. I've had the privilege of working in here with Starflyer as one of our clients previously, and so the black and white aircraft that you see over here, beautiful aircraft. They fly exclusively Airbus A320s. But yes, we had a chance to visit here. Yeah, let's go
Pilot's boarding starting.
This Kitakyushu airport that you're seeing here is part of the Japan Scenery Edition. Was originally added into Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 as part of Sim Update 20, as Japan was selected for the scenery updates. So this is highly modeled, highly detailed, but this didn't require me to install any third-party. So hopefully this doesn't have much impact on the frame rate, but we shall see. We're still hovering at around 57 frames per second at the moment. You could also see there's some detail put into like some of the surrounding buildings, like the Toyoko Inn, very noticeable when you get towards the airport. And you actually have to cross this bridge to get to the airport, and then this takes you into the mainland part of Kitakyushu, and then if you look off to the right here in the back is where the city of Kitakyushu is. So let's just take a quick look around here. Yeah, a little bit hard to see. But it looks like the airport has been very highly detailed. A lot of the buildings that I see here are very recognizable. Starflyer also has their big maintenance hangar over here off to the left. That looks properly modeled. The tower over here on the left as well. And I
Passengers
believe
boarding started.
UPS and other cargo aircraft use this area over here. So this is a cargo hangar off to the right. And there are some large, like 747s. I've also seen, I think, an Antonov 129 land here. So although it looks like a small airport, it can handle large aircraft. So used heavily for freight cargo. And yes, I think I see a Jin Air back there. And so ANA doesn't typically fly to Kitakyushu. It's another thing. All of the operations for Kitakyushu for the ANA group is actually handled by Starflyer, which is part of the ANA group. So you'll see code shares on Starflyer with an ANA flight number. You can go ahead and see down here in our jet bridge, we do have passengers boarding. They have the smoked glass here very well rendered and modeled, so you can't see the passengers clearly, but they are getting on board. Let's go ahead and just dive into the aircraft. And yeah, there you can see passengers coming on board. There is still a bug with GSX where we do see passengers come all the way to the seats, but then they disappear when they sit down. I'm not exactly sure why. We'll have to look into this. But all right, back into the cockpit. Let's go ahead and get set up. Let's zoom out a bit here. Go back to our standard view. Let's go down to our FMS. Go to FMC, go pausing it, pull the coordinates from our left GPS, put that into the IRS, so we'll get ourselves positioned here. Let's go ahead and just turn our head over to the EFB, pull down the flight data from SimBrief. Okay. And we'll also just put ourselves on the performance tool page. Okay, click on route. Go to request, and there's our SimBrief route. Just pulled in, set payload fuel en route. And while we're waiting, let's go ahead down to the radio and then turn on VHF1 so that we can then call up the tower.
All Nippon 5541. Request IFA clearance to Hiroshima.
All Nippon 5541. Kitakyushu Tower, Information Papa Current, Clear RW10 Hiroshima Airport via Kohei-1 Departure, Fiat Transition, Runway 18, Climb via C.2 Flight Level 160, Squawk 1530.
Cleared to Hiroshima Airport via Kohei-1 departure. Fiato transition. Runway 18. Climb via sit to flight level 160. Squawk 1530. All Nippon 5541.
All Nippon 5541. Lead back correct. Call me back when ready for pushback OR engine start.
Roger that. All Nippon 5541.
Okay, I was having a little problem with my stream deck here. I was able to set the transponder to 1.5. It looked like it did, but I'm still showing 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. So what's going on? There we go. 1530, and we'll set our transponder to altitude reporting off. And I think I set my RTO already. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and reset that, just make sure. And let's go ahead and turn our engine system display on. And we'll set the lower MFD to check our flight controls. Okay, I think we're ready to activate the route. Let's go ahead and get that in there. Run the performance initialization first. Set that run. And in the meantime, let's just zoom out a bit here. Let's get our, oops, didn't want to start doing that yet. Let's zoom a little more here. Okay. So let's go ahead and turn the yaw damper on now. And just double check all of our switches here. So navigation, everything is set to normal. Displays are set to normal. Source auto. Did have a funny warning yesterday where there was a display source disagreement, but it looks like the switch is okay today. Fuel pumps, let's go ahead and get all 4 of them started. We'll switch the generators over to APU. Let's go ahead and work our way back up to the top here. Circuit breaker, lights, equipment cooling, everything's normal. Fasten seatbelt sign, let's go ahead and get that turned on. Let's make sure it's up. And we'll set our chime down. Just double check, let's call it attendant. Works, ground call. Okay, we're ready to start. And let's move our way back up. We have window heats. Turn all 4 on. Check for 4 green. And let's just do a quick overheat test. All illuminated. Reset and reset. 4 greens. Turn probe heats on. And let's move our way down to hydraulics. Set. Okay, everything looks good there. Let's move our way back up. Trim air is still set to off. And our reserve fan option. Set this off at the moment because we're going to start our engines. We got left pack, right pack, both set to off. ISO valve is open at the moment. Our APU bleed is off. Let's go and turn that on. And it looks like everything else is ready. Alright, let's move back down to our flight computer. We're ready to load our performance now. Good. Let's go ahead and let's go and set the takeoff. So we are cleared for runway 18 today on the Kohei 1 departure. And our arrival into Hiroshima will be on runway 10. So let's go ahead and go with ILS Zulu at the moment, runway 10. And transition, there's a Fiato, but I don't see that. That's not a standard instrument, or sorry, standard arrival. So we'll leave that alone. Hit execute. Let's go into the legs page. There is a route discontinuity between Kohei and Fiato. We'll plug that for now. And then also one between Fiato and Nissen. Plug that, and we have runway 10. Let's go ahead and set range rings. Okay, that's set. And now let's go ahead and check our cruise. Cruise altitude is 17,000 feet, so let's set this to 170. Execute. Looks good. Let's go back to our N1. So we need to use our performance calculation over here. Alright. So we are departing runway 18. Let's go ahead and import runway conditions with dry. Plug the aircraft information, center of gravity of 24.1. I'm just going to double check and make sure that the numbers that we see here are correct. So our gross weight is showing 135.6. I've got 135.7. That looks fine. If we look over here, 135.2 is our takeoff weight. Zero fuel weight of 123.1, which is what we see. Let's show you while we're here. So 123.1 on our zero fuel weight does match with what we have in our briefing. And everything else looks fine. Our cost index is 48. You see that here. And okay. Let's go back over here. Let's go ahead and import the local weather. And it looks like we have our runway winds are out of 090 at 11 knots. Outside air temperature is 32. Okay, let's go ahead and calculate. So for our N1 limits, we'll have a cell temp of 46 degrees, which we'll plug into here. And we're going to be on a takeoff 2D rate. The N1 limit, I'm showing 89.1 here. I've got 90 on my side, so we're within limits here. We'll be using a flaps 5 takeoff. Our center of gravity, 24.11. Yep, that results in a trim value of 5.22, which we'll set in a sec. So let's just take a quick look down here. 5.22. And let's go to the next page. What was our once again? 090 at 11, and our warning slip is flat at 0. So go ahead and set this. All right, dry. Everything looks good. Let's go back to the previous page. So our QRH showing 137, 138, 141. Let's double check. 137, 137, 141. Looks good. Let's go ahead and then set all 3 of those. Then move up here and click 141, our V2 speed. In. Go ahead and recycle our flight directors. Master on my side. And let's set our heading. Sorry. Set our heading to my heading. 178. Okay, and we are going to be taking off on a standard instrument departure code A1. So we'll set LNAV, VNAV, arm the auto throttle. Set our EFIS over here to range 10, and we'll turn the traffic rings on. Everything else looks fine. We're going to be in hectopascals, and our minimums will be radio mins if we use the ILS approach today. Okay, otherwise, everything I think looks good here. Alright, let's go back to FS actions. We'll set ground services. We're ready to release the ground power in a sec. Let's just reset our view. Go ahead and request push to start.
5541, gate 3. Request pushback and engine start.
Set parking brakes. And release ground power and release the chocks. Yes.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face north. All Nippon 5541.
Okay, we'll be nose right to face north. Okay, release parking brakes. And we'll just check. Thank you. Let's go ahead and start engine 2. So APU bleed is on. Turn the anti-collision on and set engine start switch to ground on engine 2. Looks like our instrument panels are not up. Let's go ahead and run that. And there we go. Alright, N2 value on engine 2 is now at 25. Let's go ahead and add fuel. Take a quick look outside. Okay. And I think engine 1 can now go to ground. Let's go ahead and start that. And M2 is at 25 now. Let's go ahead and add fuel. Just take a quick look from our window here.
Please place your baggage in the overhead compartment or under
Go ahead and set flaps 5.
Do not stack items on top of each other, as they may fall out. Nothing should block the aisle or exits. Return your
Set
seat
parking
and
brakes
table
for
to
them.
the original position for takeoff and landing. Please keep your seatbelt securely fastened whenever you are seated, in case of sudden turbulence.
外す場合は棚の片方を折ったり
So both engines started.
電波を発する状態の電子機器は
Alright,
ご
let's
使
go
用にな
ahead
れま
and
せん。
switch
The use
the
of electronic devices
generators
that
over
emit
to the
radio
engines
waves is
now.
prohibited.
電源を切るか
And
機内モ
we'll
ード
go
など
ahead
に
and
設定してくだ
close
さい。
the ISO valve and set our packs to auto.
アンロッキングキア
Let's turn the APU bleed off and we'll turn off the APU.
タバコを含め航空法で禁止されています。
Smoking and the use of all smoking devices is prohibited in the
I'll
cabin,
also turn the research
including
fans
the
on.
aisle and lavatory.
緊急時は乗務員の指示に従ってください。
In case of
トートラックディ
emergency,
スコネク
please
ティッ
follow
ド
our
バイパス
instructions.
ピンチムーブド
酸素マスクが降りてきた際はマスクを
Okay,
強く
let's
し
go through our before
ネットイ
takeoff
ズクリア
checklist.
ライトイズクリア
Let's
If
just
oxygen
check
masks
the
drop
six
down,
pack.
pull a mask
We've
towards
got no
you, place it
master
over your
caution
nose and
warnings.
mouth, and breathe normally.
Check flight
ご自
controls.
身のマスクなどは外し酸素マスクを直接つけ
Elevator.
ます。
Remove your own mask and then put the
All wrong.
oxygen mask directly onto your face.
ゴム紐は頭にかけ
right
長
rudder.
さを調整します。
Put the elastic
Left
band
rudder.
over your head and adjust it by pulling the ends.
衝
And
撃
then
に
set
備える姿勢をとります。
elevator
In
trim
an emergency, brace for impact.
5.22.
非常口は飛行機の左右両側にあります。お近くの非常口をお確かめください。
Emergency
looks
exits
good.
are located on both sides of the plane. Check
Cockpit
your
door
nearest
is
exit.
closed and unlocked. Takeoff
乗
briefing
務員の指
complete.
示に従い行動してください。
And let's go ahead and set our engine start switches to both continuous.
Photography is prohibited during evacuation.
手荷物は一切持
Let's
た
go
ない
ahead
で
and
くださ
turn
い。
off the
脱
lower
出の妨
display
げや
unit
スライドを破損
and
する恐れがあります。
Leave all
simplify
baggage
our
behind,
engine
as it
display.
may hinder evacuation or damage the slide.
Please request taxi to runway.
All Nippon 5541. Request taxi to the active.
As these may damage the slide.
両腕を前に伸ばし
オール日本5541タクシー2ホールディングポイントタンゴ1ランウェイ18ビアパパタンゴ1
Assist other passengers. after
Taxi to
sliding
holding
down.
point Tango 1, runway 18, via Papa, Tango 1, All Nippon 5541.
A
A life vest is under
Okay,
or
let's go ahead
beside
and
your
taxi. Let's change this to map mode. So it should just straight down all the way to the end of the runway here for runway 18.
Inflate the life vest at the door or on the wing
Okay.
by pulling the red tabs down.
Release parking brake. And
If you
N1
need more air,
30%.
blow into the tubes.
Getting 59.5. Dropped a little bit. We're at 60 frames per second. Looking very smooth. Let's go ahead and also turn off our EFB. We don't need that.
If you require assistance or have any questions, please contact a cabin attendant.
Okay. So far, so good. Everything looks nice and clean. Frame rate looks good. Our aircraft over here, the Starflyer on the side here, very smooth. Looks nice. I'm curious what that hangar was. Maybe that's a Mitsuju. We'll see in a second. Let's make sure we maintain this taxiway line here. One reason why I like this particular position that I've got my monitor set up in is that this kind of black line between the left side of the left EFIS actually makes a nice black line that I could adjust with the runway or the taxiway line here. Yeah, it is Mitsubishi Juko. So Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. And look at that, there's like a satellite dish sitting here. I never noticed that. Let's turn our taxi right on. Okay. Coming up on the Tango 3 intersection. To our left, to the right. I do need to do something about this co-pilot. He just looks too casual. I'd rather have somebody in uniform. If anyone knows how to actually change that, please let me know in the comments. I have not figured it out yet. Might be in one of the Microsoft preferences, or maybe it's a configuration inside the PMDG. But yeah, this guy's actually kind of freaky when you look at his face. It's a little bit scary looking. It reminds me of the automatic pilot in the movie Airplane. Alright, almost there at the end of the runway. We're on Papa 1 now. So maintain center tracking. Looks like the wind is coming out of the left side. It's blowing there. Alright, let's go ahead and request departure.
All Nippon 5541, holding short, runway 18.
All Nippon 5541, Kitakyushu Tower, wind 100 degrees, 11 knots, runway 18, cleared for takeoff.
Please let the captain know.
Runway 18, cleared for takeoff. All Nippon 5541.
Landing lights on. Strobe and steady. Set. Transponder to TARA. Alright, check left side. Left cleared. Check right side. Right cleared. Okay, entering runway 18. Okay, rolling start. Let's go ahead and set N1 to 40%, please. Okay, positive pressure on the yoke. And please set takeoff thrust. Really having to counteract this wind.
Rotate.
Okay, rotate. To keep the wings level.
Positive rate of climb.
Accurate. Maintain 15 degrees. Nose up.
All Nippon 5541, contact
Follow the
Fukuoka
flight
control
directive.
132.5.
Center on 132.5. All Nippon 5541. Fukuoka control. All Nippon 5541. Passing
Watch the
1,000
bank
feet,
angle.
climbing to flight level 160.
All Nippon 5541, Fukuoka control, identified. Continue climb to flight level 160.
Continue climb to flight level 160. All Nippon 5541.
Japan Air 3537, contact Tokyo control 124.95, have a good afternoon. Contact Tokyo control 124.95, Japan Air 3537, good day.
A little bit of wind from the right hand side. It's kind of pushing us. Right, flaps up to 1.
Air China 459, contact Tokyo control 124.95. Center on 124.95, Air China 459, bye bye.
Okay, flaps up.
Alpha Wing 351, clear Hiroshima East arrival, runway
Okay,
34.
push command A.
Clear
And
Hiroshima East arrival, runway
set
34.
altitude
Alpha
to
Wing
flight level
351.
160.
Air TH183, contact Fukuoka control 126.1.
Alright, I will set myself to weather on my side and please set train on our side. Let's go ahead and turn off our taxiway lights, set engine start to off, and set RTO off. So cabin altitude is set to 160 and our landing altitude for that simple that should be 1400. Quick look outside. Beautiful day for flying here. Hot, sunny afternoon. Our frame rate's at about 50 frames per second. Clouds looking okay. See that strange pixelation on the clouds today, so that looks like there's a little bit of inside during the bottom. Looks like you're looking through kind of a Fresnel lens, but not that bad. Back into the cockpit here. Coming up on waypoint Kohei. I don't see any weather ahead of us. It's fine. Tap on the data button here on our EFIS, and that'll give us the time that will approach that waypoint. So the clock is showing 5:29 UTC at the moment, and we'll approach or arrive at Kohei at 0530. Top of climb will be shortly thereafter here. Let's zoom out a little bit more, and our top of descent be out here before we hit Fiato. Looks like we're going to do kind of a zigzag to come in today. Turn this off just so we can see a little bit easier. Yeah. So we'll go out to Fiato, Bingo, and then make our way back. Yesterday when we did our go around, you remember we went past Bingo and then came in. But I take it back. Bingo should be over here, which means at Fiato we're just going to turn around and then make our way back to Maki, Missen, and then come in from the opposite side. We're at flight level 100. Let's turn the landing lights off. So it looks like there's an aircraft off to our right on our nose. It's descending, or we're catching up to it. Should be passing alongside. There's a lot more aircraft now. Let's see if we can find it. Should be 3,000 feet above us, so should be right at the same altitude as us. Is below us.
Climb flight level 170, all Nippon 5541.
Make sure the cabin altitude is set to 170. See that guy. Let me just switch over to stop watching. Is it above us? Let's see. Looks like our terrain looks a little bit better than yesterday. little bit more detail on the ground here, and then the city should actually look a little bit better rendered. Yeah, I'm not ready yet, so let's go ahead and just
Wilco, all Nippon
let them know that
5541.
we'll call them back when we're ready. And we should be coming up to the top of the climb now.
Wilco, cleared direct outlet. Resume O navigation. All Nippon 5541.
Right, let's
エアスプリング6589クリアラドイグルルイビーチャーリーアライバルランウェイ24レフト Clear Eagle Charlie arrival runway 24 left Airspring 6589 チャイナイースターン558コンタクト福岡コントロール126デシマル1 Center on 126.1 China Eastern 558
outfit. We didn't have that here. Alright, let's go into our legs page and
Japan Air 694 コンタクト東京コントロール133デシマル5ハブエイグとアフターヌーンセンターオン133デシマル5ジャパンエア694ハブエイグ
place
とアフ
Fiato.
ターヌーン
Not in database. Alphet. Sorry, this is Alpha Lima Foxtrot Echo Tango. There we go. And let's see what that looks like. Alpha. That's way off to the right. I don't like that. Let's just go with just keep it on Fiato. They never gave us Alpha. At least not on the ILS Zulu approach. Get ready for a descent here.
KMA Air 8724コンタクト福岡コントロール126デシマル1 Center on 126.1 Shaman Air 8724 Bye bye
Good afternoon, Fukuoka Control. Orange Liner 511, passing flight level 241, descending to flight level 150.
オレンジライナー511福岡コントロールアイデンティファイド
Let's turn the briefing panel off
コンタク
over
ト
here.
東京コントロール124デシマル95コンタクト
Set
東
our
京
landing
コントロール
QNH
124デシマル95スカイマーク773
7.
エアスプリング6589レポートレディーフォーディセント Ready for descent Airspring 6589エアスプリング6589ディセント2フライトレベル170
Let's take a quick look at our landing preparations. Go to the init ref page. We'll go with a 40-degree flag. Final approach speed will be 141 knots. And today now we do have the ILS available to us, so let's go ahead and set our nav radio. Set the standby to 108.70. You can see that down here. It's in our standby box. We'll set the co-pilot side also to 108.70. And we'll go ahead and transfer that over. Both nav radios are set. And it'll be course heading of 098. Let's go ahead and set my side first. 098, and we'll set the co-pilot side too.
Fukuoka Control, Hanang 426, flight level 320.
Alright. Should be ready. Properly configured. Let's go back to our legs page. Fiato coming up in 40 nautical miles here. I'll go ahead and start our descent. Remember yesterday we did have some problems with our altitude and speed management, so I'm going to go ahead and start our descent down to 4100 is our floor that we need to be at. So let's also call for the descent.
All Nippon 5541. Approaching our top of descent. Ready for descent.
All Nippon 5541, descend to 8,000 feet, QNH1007, expect runway 10.
Okay, 8,000.
Descend to 8,000 feet. QNH1007. All Nippon 5541.
Keep the speed brake armed.
Shenzhen Air 686, contact Fukuoka Control 126.1.
Contact Fukuoka Control 126.1. Shenzhen Air 686.
Fukuoka Control, Japan Air 611, passing
60
flight
frames per
level
second,
07,
we're
descending
pretty
to
close
flight
to
level
thereof,
130.
so looking good.
Japan Air 611, Fukuoka Control, identified. All Nippon 609, contact Fukuoka Control 126.1, good day. Contact Fukuoka Control 126.1, all Nippon 609.
Since it is kind of hilly over there near Hiroshima, we'll go ahead and switch. You take weather and I'll take terrain.
Alpha Wind 1627, contact Fukuoka Control 126.1. Contact Fukuoka Control 126.1, Alpha Wind 1627. Orange Liner 511, descend to 9,000 feet, QNH1004. Descend to 9,000 feet, QNH1004, Orange Liner 511. Airspring 6589, contact Tokyo Control 124.95.
Contact Tokyo Control
Okay, we're crossing flight level 150,
Bye-bye.
and we should be expecting to transition over to 1007 hectopascals for the altimeter.
Japan Air 646 Heavy, contact Tokyo Control 133.5.
Speed is well maintained. We should be at 268 knots at Fiato. Still have some headroom to lose speed here. We'll use speed brakes if we need. Jump outside for a minute.
Japan Air 2375,
With little clouds here, so hard to see. You can see the city of Hiroshima off to our left over here.
Starflyer 65, descend Viasta to 2,000 feet, QNH1004.
Cross over 14,000 feet here, so
QNH1004, Starflyer 65. All Nippon 592 Heavy, contact Tokyo Control 124.95.
Contact Tokyo Control 124.95. All Nippon 592 Heavy.
looks like we're reducing speed nicely, so don't need to use the speed brakes here. Crossing flight level 130. Alright, let's just make sure that we're set up for our approach here. Anti-ice, we didn't turn on today. We're at positive 25 degrees C. Air conditioner pressure set. altimeter 1007 set, and N1 IS box we will bob all the way down. And descent checklist complete.
Descend to 6,000 feet. QNH1007. All Nippon
Okay, we have
5541.
1007 set on the altimeter, and altitude 6,000 feet. Left hand turn. Okay, we're coming up at 10,700. I think it's good enough timing to turn our taxi lights on, runway turn-off lights on, landing lights on, and engine start switches to continuous. Let's go ahead and set our auto brakes to 3. That's good. Check our 6-pack. No master caution lights. Speed brake is on. And we'll wait for the landing gear. Alright, speed is dropping nicely. The accents that the Beyond ATC standard AI is using is uncanny.
Turn left. Heading 330. All Nippon 5541.
Looks like it's taking us on a nice straight approach to Missile. Maybe further out to the left.
Contact Hiroshima approach 124.05. All Nippon 5541. Hiroshima approach. All Nippon 5541. Passing 9,800 feet. Descending to 6,000 feet with information Juliet.
All Nippon 5541 Hiroshima approach. Good afternoon. QNH1007 expect radar vectors for ILS0 approach runway 10.
QNH1007 expect radar vectors for ILS Zulu approach runway 10.
So we were right, it was ILS Zulu approach. So let's go ahead and set our radio mins to 50. And that way we may be able to do a Cat 3 landing. At the very least a Cat 1. But it also depends on how cloudy it is up there on the hills up at Hiroshima. Looks like we might want to add a little bit of speed brake because we're starting to increase our speed. I do want to try to keep it a little controlled. If we speed up too much, we'll run into that problem we ran into yesterday. Looks like we're getting a little bit of left hand yaw here. I don't know if you noticed. The nose of the aircraft kind of yawed off to the right. There we go. Speed now coming back down. We also want to make sure that we have our flaps configured correctly well in advance so that we don't have the situation that we had with flaps not configured for landing and forcing us to do a go around yesterday.
Contact tower 118.6, all Nippon 679 heavy.
Coming up on that decel point, so as long as we can start retracting flaps around the decel point, I will be happy. Okay, we've got crosswind from the left at 13 knots, so I'll see if we're getting pushed again. speeding up again. VNAV should also start bringing the speed back down once we get to the decel point.
Fly present heading 3,600 feet until established. Cleared ILS Zulu approach runway 10, all Nippon 5541.
Set the altitude to 3,600 feet.
Contact tower 118.6, all Nippon 5541.
VNAV is bugging ourselves down.
Hiroshima tower, all Nippon 5541. ILS Zulu approach runway 10.
All Nippon 5541, Hiroshima Tower, continue.
Roger, all Nippon 5541.
Almost at our flaps up speed. That's good. Looks like the scenery looks better, doesn't it? Today, if you look over there off to the left. Let's just pan over. Looks a little better. There's still patches that look very low res, but I think it looks better than it did yesterday. Okay, we can go ahead and start setting flaps 1. Let's also zoom in a little bit here so we can see a little better. Okay, coming up on flaps 1 speed. Set flaps 2. Coming up on flaps 5 now.
All Nippon 679 Heavy, exit left at Tango 1.
Set speed
Exit left
brakes
at
back to
Tango 1,
1.
all Nippon 679 Heavy.
Gotta watch out for the terrain here. Our approach profile looks good. And we're coming up on flaps 10 now, speed. Good, I think we're well controlled. Let the autopilot show them. Set Vorlock on. Just wait for the localizer.
All Nippon 679
I
Heavy,
think Diamond
taxi to
Dynamo is
stand by via Tango 1, Papa.
coming up and
Taxi to
let
stand
that
by via Tango
straighten
1,
ourselves up
Papa.
here.
All Nippon 679
So let's go ahead and
Heavy.
set approach mode now. There we go. Captured the ILS. Set command B. And looking good. Sped up a little bit here. Let's let that come back down. Bit canted right now. Slightly off to the right, so we'll need to let the autopilot make the course correction here. Looking good. Alright, we're about 7 nautical miles out. Let's go ahead and gear down. And we'll reduce speed down to flaps 15. Buck down to 155. Almost at 2,400 feet radio altitude. Okay, let's go ahead and set flaps 25. flaps 30. Set flaps 40, and reduce speed to final approach speed 141 knots. Looks like we're still gonna have an ILS Cat 1.
All Nippon
So we're
5541,
gonna have
wind
auto land.
230 degrees,
That's fine.
5 knots. Runway 10 cleared to land.
Runway 10 cleared to land. All Nippon 5541.
It's kind of tricky up here with all the winds on the hills. Got thermal that you have to deal with. So that's what makes this landing a little bit more tricky. Haven't quite mastered it yet. I'll let it go down to about 1,000 feet. Then I'll take over. Hope I don't botch this one up. Set our go around altitude. Set 3,300. Alright, disconnect autopilot. Take manual controls here. Disconnect all throttles.
200. Approaching minimums. Minimums. 30. 20. 10.
You know, it's funny, I keep drifting off to the left here. Reverse.
All Nippon 5541, exit left at Tango 2.
Exit
Tango
left
2.
at Tango 2. All Nippon 5541.
Landing lights off. And let's call ground.
All Nippon 5541. Request taxi to allocated gate.
All Nippon 5541, taxi to stand 6 via Papa.
Taxi to stand 6 via Papa. All Nippon 5541.
From now on, you can use electronic devices that emit radio waves. However, please refrain from turning on telephones out of consideration for other passengers. Take your flight with ANA, Jet Airways, and our Star
Set strobes back to steady.
We look forward to serving you again. For your safety, please remain seated until the captain turns off the seatbelt sign. Thank you.
Yeah, I forgot to mention yesterday that Hiroshima has this really beautiful lake right here off to the right-hand side. If you zoom out, bring yourselves up here. It's a gorgeous view. a long drive from here back down the hill to the city. The bus ride itself, I've done it a few times, but it takes about an hour to get from the airport down to the downtown Hiroshima. So a lot of people, they contemplate whether or not it's just easier to take a Shinkansen bullet train from Tokyo to Hiroshima, because that just drops you off right in the middle of the city, versus taking an hour and a half flight to the airport and then another bus ride down to the city. You also have security that you have to go through, and the travel to Haneda Airport. So with all of that considered, is it really worth taking the aircraft instead of just the train? Okay, passing by gate 5 here. Let's go ahead and slow down. And there's gate 6. So there's a 6 right, a 6, and a 6 left here. So we'll go with the center 6. Turn taxiway lights and railway turn off lights off. And let's go ahead and start our turn. Come up right alongside this 787-8. Start slowing ourselves down. We're almost at 0 on the lateral here. Nudge it up a little bit to the left. Almost 30 feet out. Okay, we're zeroed out the lateral. Let's nudge that back slightly to the right. And we tapped the brakes a little too hard there. I feel like we're rolling backwards. Might be on a hill. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're half a foot off. Okay, definitely no horsey dance for us today. Let's go ahead and set our ground surfaces. Set the wheel chocks. Request ground power. Okay, go ahead and set that. Cut, fuel. Fuel pumps off. Turn anti-collision off. Turn off the passenger signs.
The boarding requested.
Oh, we are getting a horsey dance. You see that? There.
Thank you very much for waiting, ladies and gentlemen. You may depart the front door. Thank you and have a good evening. Sayonara.
Well, at least our parking was good. Landing, not so much, but...
Passengers deboarding starting.
Right. Alright, that takes care of our landing for today. So, yeah, still haven't gotten the Hiroshima landing quite right yet. We'll keep practicing, and try to get it a little bit more under control. But yeah, thanks for watching again, and we'll see you on the next one.